Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Bhalabha Giribharadhari Bhalabha Giribharadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Bhalabha Giribharadhari Gopi Jana Bhalabha Giribharadhari Jashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Braja Jana Ranjana Jashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jashodanandana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Matira Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacacharya Ashtottara Shata Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacacharya Ashtottara Shata Srimad His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. Itai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shishiguru and Shiguranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, the Summon Bonum, Chapter 37, which is entitled The Killing of the Demons, Keshi and Vyoma. We're reading from text number 7 to 9. You read yesterday which ones? You read to 8. Because I was told I was supposed to give in 7 to 9. But they told you to give, okay. So, text number 9 then. Devarsi upashangamya Devarsir upasangamya Bhagavata prabharo nripa Bhagavata prabharo nripa Krishnan aklishta karmanam rahasyetat abhashata Devarsir upasangamya Bhagavata prabharonita Krishnan aklishta karmanam rahasyetat abhashata Devarsir upasangamya Bhagavata prabharonita Krishnan aklishta karmanam rahasyetat abhashata. Christian. Devarsir upasangamya Bhagavata prabharonita Krishnan aklishta karmanam rahasyetat abhashata. Devarsir upasangamya Bhagavata pravaro nipa Krishnan akrishna karmanam Prahasyetat abhashata Deva Rishihi. The sage among the demigods, Narada Muni, Upasangamya, approaching Bhagavata of devotees of the Lord, Prabharaha, the most exalted, Nipa, O King, Parikshit, Krishnam, Lord Krishna, Aklishta, without trouble, Karmanam, whose activities, Rahashi, in privacy, Etat, these, Abhashata, said. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear King, thereafter Lord Krishna was approached in a solitary place by the great sage among the demigods, Narada Muni. That most exalted devotee spoke as follows to the Lord, who effortlessly performed his pastime. Effortlessly performed his pastime. Purport. After speaking with Kamsa, Narada went to see Lord Krishna. The Lord's Vrindavan pastimes were nearly completed, and Narada wanted to see those he will enact in Mathura. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Ummilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Brahmapada Swami Iti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpa Taruvyasha Kripa Sindhu Vyaeva Cha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. Shishikishor Kishori Ki Jai. So Krishna just killed the Keshi demon, the horse demon, and the killing of Keshi was so powerful, the way Krishna did it. And yesterday we had a very nice description of that. And it is explained that when Krishna put his hand in the mouth of Keshi, and then Keshi tried to, close his mouth, obviously, as you put, close his mouth, but it was so powerful, the arm of Krishna, Jai Shish Kishore Kishori, that the teeth just exploded out. So, it's like he was biting something that was so strong, so strong, and it was like molten fire. It was like an iron rod that was red fire. So all the teeth blow out. And then Krishna expands his arm, that he expanded so far into the body of this demon that the body of the demon split. What a painful death. You say that as he was dying, and the body was sort of like breaking, he was dying, passing stool, and the body split into half. It is explained that this fruit, what is the fruit that is mentioned here? The name, Karkatika fruit. Anyone knows? Do you know a Karkatika fruit? It's like a watermelon. Yes. Sometimes it says like it's a melon. There's other parts that is described as some sort of a cucumber, but it's more like a round thing. It's almost like a volleyball or something like that. Like this. It could be like this big. And there are some parts that the Karkatika fruit is described as this fruit called pomelo. You know this fruit? It's the biggest citrus fruit that is there. It's like also like this big. It's like a big grapefruit. So either a watermelon or a pomelo, as Krishna puts his hand, the thing just split into two. Like, if you throw a watermelon into the floor and the thing, splits into two, that's how the body of Keshi ended. In the Vishnu Purana is described, Srila Jiva Goswami quotes, Keshi's body was split in two parts, each with 2 feet, half, a back, and a tail, 1 ear, 1 eye, and 1 nostril. So right through the middle. So Srila Jiva Goswami explains, how Krishna, in the verse is explained, Krishna didn't feel any pride because it was so easy for him, effortlessly. It is explained in the verse today. He performed his pastime so effortlessly. And the demigods are showering flowers, just praising his amazing feat and of killing this powerful, fearful demon. This was a very powerful demon. It was Kansas, trying to do his last attempt to send demons to Vrindavan. He had this whole plan with her. Okay, he's going to, as Narada Muni induced him to create this whole scheme to bring Krishna to Mathura and kill him. So he have, plan A, plan B, plan C. He tried to kill him in so many ways. So before entering the arena, he have this mad elephant, Kalayapida, and then if he enters the arena, if he's past Kalayapida, then he's going to encounter Mushtika and Chanura, powerful, huge wrestlers, powerful, fighters. But even before that, he sent Keshi to Vrindavan to take care of Krishna. So, but Krishna so easily, Srila Jiva Goswami writes like this: though he has effortlessly killed the enemy, Krishna did not feel pride mixed with astonishment, thinking, I've killed him. I have picked up this little mushroom, from the floor, or, I just kill him like nothing. It was not a big thing. So it was not neither astonished nor prideful, because it was nothing. It's like, what are you be prideful of, picking a little piece of stone from the floor, Oh, what a great feat. No one is going to get pride about that. So Krishna just killed this powerful demon. He's like, yeah, I just killed this guy. I just killed this demon. No pride. But meanwhile, all the demigods were worshipping him by his great feat. Srila Jiva Goswami say, or, having killed the enemy, he continually smiled, since he killed the demon without effort. Parasara says, without fatigue and in good health, Krishna stood and smiled. Having showered flowers, the devatas showered many, many more flowers. So that was basically coming to the end of the Vrindavan pastimes. And that's why we come to the verse today. So, after Krishna killed Keshi, it is explained that the exalted inhabitants of Vrindavan were so overjoyed that they showered Krishna with this anuraga. It is explained. Srila Jiva Goswami explained. See here. Yeah, they express there's the expressions of devotions of the demigods that was, in awe and reverence, but the expressions of happiness and love that the inhabitants of Vrindavan show to Krishna, it is explained that this is in this mood that is called anuraga. And this anuraga, it is a stage of love of Godhead that is right before Mahabhava, which is the one that is experienced by Srimati Radharani. So it's the highest stage, that is experienced by the devotees of Vrindavan, and it's explained that in this stage is so intense, the mood of love, that although you're in front of your beloved, Krishna, and you're very well acquainted with Krishna, the intense love makes you experience Krishna like you never experienced him before. Like new. It's a new experience at every moment. So that's what this anuraga, that's the effect that it has in the devotees. It's like a new experience of Krishna. It's an ever fresh experience. So it's a very intense experience of love. So, which brings, highlights the exalted positions of the inhabitants of Vrindavan. And in today's verse, text number 9, then it comes Narada Muni, and we learn through the pastimes of Krishna the whole Leela of Krishna, the very important role that Narada Muni plays in this Leela, in the Leela of Krishna, And he is almost like the, instigator, or the person who is facilitating the different stages of Krishna. So first, he facilitated that the appearance of Krishna by almost making faster Kamsa's. He first, which is quite something. We heard some time ago how he induced Kamsa to again try to kill Krishna, bring him to Mathura and trying to kill him. But before that, we know how when Vasudeva promised Kamsa that he will bring all his children to him, as long as he doesn't kill Devaki, he will bring all the children born from Devaki to him. So he did that because Vasudeva was known by his word, upholding any word that he said. So when he brought the child to Kamsa and gave him to Kamsa, Kamsa became very, he brought compassion because he saw that how honest and great personality Vasudeva is to do that. And although Kamsa thought, well, I'm really in the prediction is that the 8th child is the one who's going to do me harm. So none of these babies is going to do me anything. So no, it's fine. You take your baby back and then go back, and it's all fine. Bring me the 8th one, but you can keep all your babies. And Narada, he came to Kamsa and told him, the demigods have already taken birth, and they're taking birth in different pious families of the Yadu dynasty. So any of them can be Vishnu, and they describe his past life, how he was killed by Vishnu. So you're in great danger by any child that is taking birth in the Yadu family, or in the pious families, in the kingdom. So immediately Kamsa brought Devaki and Vasudeva into the jail and is trying to kill the children. So Narada, externally when look at that, just like we discussed also some time ago, Narada inducing Kamsa again, against Vasudeva and Devaki, because after the birth of the 8th child and what Kamsa experienced was Durga chastising him, he freed Vasudeva and Devaki, and again he brought them to jail because Narada told him about. So Narada is almost like he had it on Vasudeva and Devaki. But no, what Narada is doing is that he's playing a very important role in the past tense of Krishna. He knows very well the past tense of Krishna. He's such a powerful devotee, such an important devotee. We hear the position of Narada, one of the 12 Mahajans. And more important, Narada is almost the gurus of the gurus. It's like the original, the guru. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that of all saints, rishis, he is Narada. So Narada is an empowered personality, Shaktya avatar. He has the potencies of the Lord, how to express Krishna bring Krishna consciousness. This microphone has a little feedback. Prabhuji, can you just bring the volume just a tiny bit down, just a tiny bit? Yeah. So that's good. So Narada, in the narrations of the Bhagavatam, in narrations of the different Puranas, he is, he plays a part of the spiritual master of so many great personalities. Valmiki Muni, of Prahlad Maharaj, Chitraketu, Deprachetas, and so many. And most important, he's the spiritual master of Vyasadeva. And Vyasadeva is celebrated as, the ultimate guru. So when we celebrate the appearance of the spiritual master, we celebrate, the name of that celebration is Vyasa Puja. So, but Narada Muni was the spiritual master of Vyasadeva. So Narada Muni is described as the guru of gurus. It's the ultimate, it's almost like the father of bhakti. And the teachings of Narada that we find not only in the Srimad Bhagavatam, but also in the Narada Pancharatrika, and also in the book that he wrote, in the Naradiya Purana, also describe his teachings, but also the book of Bhakti that he wrote. What is the name of that book? The Narada Bhakti Sutras? No, Narada Pancharatrika is one. And let me see here. See if I can find it. It's a very important book that we study. Prabhupada translated. No. The Bhakti Sutras, Narada Bhakti Sutras. Narada Bhakti Sutras. Narada Bhakti Sutra is a very important book because he wrote, it is so much the position of Narada that although he's a Vaikuntha-vasi, Narada Muni, his worship of Lord is Lord Narayan. So, he's always chanting Narayan. But Srila Narada Muni, he understood perfectly well that the Lord was appearing, as Krishna. He understood Krishna's position. And as such, it is explained that he was actually looking for Krishna in Vrindavan, and especially to see the most exalted displays of Krishna's pastime in the Rasa Leela dance. So he wanted to experience that. He was looking in Vrindavan, he couldn't see. He looked and looked and looked and couldn't see. And then from Brinda Devi, he heard the narrations of these pastimes of the Lord, and he became very eager to actually experience it. And he meditated for many, many, many years the Gopal mantra that Lord Brahma gave to him. Because Lord Brahma also received that Gopal mantra, and he passed it to his son, Narada Muni. So, after many years of meditating with the Gopal mantra, then Narada had an audience of Yogamaya in Vrindavan, and Yogamaya took him to Kushum Sarovar, and in instruct him to take a bath in Kusum Sarovar, and he will come out as Naradiya Gopi. Naradiya Gopi. Naradi Gopi. He became as a Gopi. And as a Gopi, he could enter and witness. Now, with the eyes of the Gopis, and in that mood, he was able to witness the Rasalila dance. And Krishna instructed him to remain in Vrindavan, although remember that Narada was cursed by Daksha, that he cannot stay in any place more than 3 days. But Krishna assured him that curse is not, it doesn't touch Vrindavan, because Vrindavan is transcendental. So Narada cannot stay in any place in the creation, in the cosmic manifestation, material world, for 3 days. But in Vrindavan he can stay, so he took residence very close to Kusum Sarovar. The place now is called Naradavan. It's a little forest, and there is a place that is called Narada Kund in that forest, Narada Kund. In Narada Kund, you can still see a little temple there, and then you can actually, there's a murti of Narada as a Gopi, and also of Narada Muni. And in that Kund, he wrote this book, Narada Bhakti Sutras, in which he actually revealed the essence of bhakti in the mood of, the gopis, the Brijavasis. So Narada had entrance to all these. Narada understood perfectly well, was very, very well acquainted with the pastimes of the Lord and devotion to the Lord, like that. And so he became a proponent, a teacher of pure devotional service in the mood of Vrindavan. And now we see in this situation that he is now signaling to the Lord that his Vrindavan pastimes are coming to the end, and now his Mathura and Dwarka pastimes are to be started. So, and later we'll see how he still, throughout, Narada was the one who arranged for Krishna's main queen to join, to unite with Krishna. We know that he came to Rukmini as a princess, and he started to narrate the pastimes of Krishna. And Rukmini became very, very attracted to Krishna, that she gave her heart to Krishna, just by hearing Narada Muni's description of Krishna's pastimes. So he was also the instigator of that union, because from that she was to be married to Shishupal, right? And Shishupal was in Krishna's family. It was some sort of a cousin or something like that. Yeah, a cousin. But he hated Krishna so much. In fact, Shishupal is the third incarnation of Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Shishupal. So he really, it was a big time, because we know these two demons were the greatest demons in the history of, demons. Hiranyakashipu and Shishupal and Ravana. So so that prompted so many things, from Krishna kidnapping Rukmini and marrying Rukmini, and so Narada Muni had a hand is such an important role in Krishna's pastimes. So in this case, we read that Sukadev Goswami tells Maharaj Parikshit, my dear king, thereafter Lord Krishna was approached in a solitary place by the great sage among the demigods, Narada Muni. That most exalted devotee spoke as follows to the Lord, who effortlessly performed his pastimes. And then Prabhupada disciples write, after speaking with Kamsa, Narada went to see Lord Krishna. The Lord's Vrindavan pastimes were nearly completed, and Narada wanted to see those he would enact in Mathura. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, Narada began to praise Krishna in order to request him to show his Mathura pastimes, after having completed his Braja pastimes. He is called Bhagavat Prabhara because he fulfilled the exalted desires Prabhara of the devotees of Mathura. He spoke to Krishna, who performed actions like killing Keshi without being harmed. Srila Jiva Goswami writes on this verse, I offer respects to Narada, the sage of the Devatas, the greatest devotee, the guru of Krishna's devotees, who set in motion the pastimes of Krishna. So Srila Jiva Goswami is here highlighting that position of Narada Muni as the devotee of Krishna that is facilitating, that is setting in motion the different parts of Krishna's Leela in this world. Because the topic was confidential, Srila Jiva Goswami writes, Narada spoke to Krishna in private. So no one knows, but Narada knows, very confidential. Because for the devotees of Vrindavan, this was unthinkable. So Krishna could not reveal anything. This was a very confidential subject matter. Your Vrindavan pastimes are finished, your Mathura pastimes are starting. Narada only. Narada was not just a relater of news, but he was a friend of all. He did this in order to prevent Braja being attacked by Kamsa and Jarasanda's troops, and to arrange for Kamsa's and others' liberation. Or, Narada was Devarshi. He is a Deva and a sage, since he has a spiritual knowledge and was a revealer of Krishna's mantras. Thus, he has most confidential knowledge. He was the best of the devotees who were qualified for the pastimes. Thus, he acted in this way to facilitate those pastimes. He came secretly and then offered information. And similarly, Srila Sanatana Goswami writes, I offer respect to Narada, the sage of the Devatas, the greatest devotee, the guru of Krishna's devotee who set in motion the pastimes of Krishna. Srila Jiva Goswami just quoted Srila Sanatana Goswami, but there's some little differences here. Devarshi indicates that he was dedicated to acting for the Devatas. He met with Krishna intimately, or he came in such a way that no one saw him. Since his conversation was a secret, he spoke to him alone. He had no hatred of the Lord, the best among devotees, the Guru concerning bhakti, dedicated only to bhakti. Thus he was not a spy. He spoke in order to protect the devotees, devatas, and yadavas. His name is not mentioned out of respect. Oh, so in the verse, his name is not mentioned like that. O king, he pacifies the king who had developed some hatred for Narada. So, externally appears like that Narada was instigating all these things, like atrocities towards Vasudeva, to Devaki, the inhabitants of Vrindavan will be completely devastated. There's so much thing that externally appears, that he's like inducing Kamsa to do more atrocities. But the fact is that our Vaishnava Acharyas is revealing that he's a friend of all. He's thinking on the welfare. So he's thinking on the welfare of the Brijavasis. So they're not being to be attacked by these demons, Kamsa and Jarasandha. Once they know that Krishna is there or Krishna is dear to them, then they will try to hurt Krishna by attacking them. So Narada is protecting them. And with Vasudeva and Devaki, it is explained that is in the purport, some of the purpose of the Acharyas, that later they were very grateful. In the 11th canto, it is explained that they were very grateful because of Narada, because he facilitated Krishna to come to them. They haven't seen Krishna throughout all the 11 years and something that Krishna grew in Vrindavan, and they were in jail, suffering all the atrocities of Kamsa. So Narada was creating all this benefit, but it's something that externally we cannot understand. We have to have the help. And that's why it is explained that it's better not to try to guess the mindset of a highly elevated devotee when you're, all conditioned and you're seeing things from your conditioned perspective. You just won't understand. Sometimes we don't understand why that devotee, does something in certain way. And, the advice is do not try to understand that. You can't understand the mind of a pure devotee. So then if you try to do that, the very likely is that you're going to do an aparat. You're going to commit an offense. Because you don't understand. So we have to be very careful with that. So Maharaj Parikshit was being a little bit affected. It says here, he was, he was disturbed just by the narration. So he developed some dislike, of the actions of Narada. He says here by Srila Sanatana Goswami, O king, he pacified the king who had developed some hatred for Narada. Just like kings like you, just as kings like you strive to protect citizens, Narada strives to protect all devotees. Oh, maybe no, I'm confused here. Because he pacifies the king. I'm sorry. The king that he may be referring here is Kamsa, right? Because Sanatana was O king. The name has mentioned out of respect. O king. He pacifies the king. I'm not sure. Because Srila Sanatana Goswami, I don't know, he's speaking like Sukadeva Goswami speaking to the king, or he's speaking as Narada Muni speaking, in this case, Narada Muni is speaking to Krishna, so he won't say, "O king." So one of those, anyway, let me keep reading. I'm not sure, I got a little bit confusing here. So, quote, Srila Sanatana Goswami continue. It is not proper for Kamsa with his wicked wrestlers to bring the Lord to Mathura. End of quote. Krishna's actions are without suffering, as in killing Putana, or the actions are immediately done, such as killing Kesi. He will easily kill Kamsa. There is no need. It seems that this is pacifying, reassuring Parikshit Maharaj. It has to be, because he is explaining that Krishna can kill Putana with no problem, can kill Keshi. Just now we saw how he killed Keshi. He had killed these demons with no problem. So no any type of difficulty. So he will kill Kamsa very easily. There's no need to worry. So in this case, the king was very worried also. Since he's absorbed in the ocean of rasa by playing in Gokula, one should not take him away. He is Krishna, the person who gives bliss to all. He must also give bliss to the Yadavas. Since he gives bliss to all, he performs pastimes eternally in Braja also. The friends went a little distant in order to show everyone the astonishing nature of killing Keshi. Thus Narada was along with Krishna, or Krishna, knowing that Narada has arrived with an announcement that will give him give great pain to the people of Gokula, sent everyone off on some pretext. According to Parashara and Vyashampayana, Narada spoke invisibly from the sky. Hearing the words of Narada, the cause of divine music, the cowherds taking Krishna enter Braja. From another kalpa, this is from another kalpa. Harivansa also said that after Krishna killed Arista, Kamsa spoke to the Yadavas to incite them falsely, and also spoke to Vasudeva and Nanda. They then commended Kamsa for his words. The Andakas also spoke. So, bringing some of the other narrations of Krishna's pastimes in another kalpas, a slight difference. We hear that in time to time, that there is a particular way, the different details of Krishna Lila. But in short, or in conclusion, is the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan is coming to an end, and now his Mathura pastimes start to manifest. And we know that as Akrura will hear that take Krishna from Vrindavan to Mathura, in this place that is called Akruragat, that is a little on the outskirts of Vrindavan, on the path to Mathura, Krishna and Balaram enter the waters of the Yamuna at that spot, and they came out as Vasudev and Shankarshan. So Vrindavan Krishna and Balaram, they stayed in an unmanifested form in Vrindavan. They never left Vrindavan. So in Mathura and Dwarka, the manifestation of Krishna as Vasudev and Lord Balaram as Sankarshan is the one that is there. So Krishna remains in Vrindavan. He never leaves Vrindavan. And so these pastimes start to happen, right? They're coming now. So Narada is almost like informing Krishna, now is the time to start this part of your pastime, this part of your lila, and give pleasure to all the devotees in the Yadu dynasty who are being sort of waiting eagerly for Krishna's, for having the association and the company and of Krishna. So, any comments or questions, dear Prabhus? You 10 and 11 also? Okay. Actually, Krishna Archana has told me that we have to read 10 and 11. So, I read it and then you ask the question. Text number 10 and 11, translation. Narada Muni said, O Krishna, unlimited Lord, source of all mystic powers, Lord of the universe, O Vasudev, shelter of all beings and the best of the Yadus, O Master, you are the supreme soul of all created beings, sitting unseen within the cave of the heart, like the fire dormant within the kindling wood. You are the witness within everyone, the supreme personality, and the ultimate controlling deity. So Narada Muni started to praise Krishna in this way. Okay, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Nice explanation by you. But there is so many confusion that you read who is that Narada Muni is addressing? That the O King, that the sentence you are reading. O King, you simply because you got hearted towards Narada.
Yeah, no, actually that was Sanatana Goswami.
Yeah, that is it he is referring to Kansa or Parikshit Maharaj?
That's what I immediately thought it was Parikshit Maharaj. It was Parikshit Maharaj. Because Kansa is out of the picture now. Kansa, the discussion that he had with Kansa was, back in Mathura, and then Kansa sent Keshi and make all these plans, and now, after the killing of Keshi, Narada went to Krishna to meet with him in a secluded place and inform him that now it's time to start his Mathura pastimes. So King Parikshit is here in this narration from Sukadeva Goswami. And, he's feeling the pain. He's feeling painful, the pain that the inhabitants of Vrindavan, and also Vasudeva and Devaki, and all these things that externally appear that is going to cause so much pain and disruption. Krishna can keep killing demons. One thing, Kansa can keep sending demons and Krishna will dispatch them all. But seeing externally, one may think this way or that way. But the thing is that the Lord has a plan. He has a pastimes, and Narada Muni was aware of this because of his intimate position in connection with the Lord. So he was just telling the Lord, here's, it's like almost a script. And you have, in the movies, there's someone who have a script, the writer, and then, the movie director goes, this is part of the script, this is part of the script, this is part of the script. So now we're moving from this to this, scene, like that. So Narada Muni is almost a director, He is moving from one scene to the other scene, but it's the Lord's will. And so this case, Sukadev Goswami, Srila Sanatana Goswami is narrating like Sukadev Goswami is pacifying Maharaj Parikshit by explaining that no, Narada is actually protecting everybody. You know, the protection is there. The protection for the inhabitants of Vrindavan, you know, is a plan of the Lord. The protection for the Vasudeva and Devaki, you know, and that's how the Lord, now there's not only devotees in Vrindavan, but there's devotees also in the Yadu dynasty who have, you know, been eagerly waiting. They have taken birth from the demigods as promised by Lord Brahma, instructed by Lord Brahma to assist Krishna. So there are devotees there. There's Uddhava, there's Rukmini, there's Satyabhama, all the queens, you know, there's all those devotees that, you know, Krishna wants to reciprocate with. So it's the plan of the Lord. And he stays with the devotees of Vrindavan in a manifested form that, you know, that all that we learned that before, you know, from the previous chapter, the sons of the gopis in separation during the day from Krishna, how Krishna was fully present. They were experiencing Krishna in a very intensified form in this mood of separation. So externally appears miserable, you know, like they're dying, but internally they're experiencing the highest ecstasy. So for us, forget about it. It's something that we can, you know, understand or imagine to understand how is that, you know, how the whole thing works. But that's what this great Acharyas is explaining to us. And in this case, King Parikshit was a little bit, you know, like taken aback by the whole narration. So he was feeling a bit upset about it, and Sukadev Goswami pacified him. So that's what I understand.
But still, to my foolish mind, please explain more. How, why did Parikshit Maharaj, being such an exalted devotee,
exactly.
he could get hatterness towards Narada Muni?
Well, when you say, when you say hatred, it doesn't necessarily, it's more like, you know, when, you know, like, okay, this doesn't make sense. There's something that I don't understand. So I, you know, like this makes me upset. You know, like sometimes we have to, you know, a great devotee does something and you don't understand. It looks externally like this and it's confusing. And then, you know, with devotion, you ask. So, like, you know, Arjuna, when he asked Krishna many things, he sometimes addressed Krishna in a way that it was, you know, a bit challenging in some way. You know, like, you're Madhusudana. Why are you asking me to kill my, you know, and you kill your enemies? You know, or why you ask me to be the killer of my family? You know, it's like that. So one can, you know, there's some conflict, but that doesn't necessarily touch the devotional part, you know, because it's still, if you just want to be relieved of that anxiety, that sort of, that confusion. So that's, you know, Maharaj Parikshit is a pure devotee, you know. So fully realized, but again, you know, he's experiencing feelings, and Srila Sukadeva Goswami, as a spiritual master, sort of corrects that, and Maharaj Parikshit, and it's all fine, you know. I mean, a person who is controlled by this stuff, who is in ignorance, you know, you can get them, they will remain in that stage of, you know, ignorance. It doesn't come out, you know, so easy like that. But with a devotee, once finished, gone. Arjuna was ready to fight, with Krishna's explanation. Yeah. Anything else?
Hare Krishna. Narad Muni was approaching both Kamsa as well as Krishna, and he wanted to know the pastimes which was to be exhibited in Mathura. So then he informs all the pastimes before that, only before Krishna is to perform.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it was almost like already no.
It's like Dharmashetra, Kurukshetra. Narad Muni got the vision before.
Yeah. He was aware of. That's. It's an amazing position. Narada Muni is very intimate, very important. That's what I'm getting to.
But in mundane sense, Indian movies, they show Narad Muni is doing here and there, like this in between.
And the picture is almost Narada Muni is like a clown or something. It's like some funny guy that Narayan. It's like it's really it's like they have no clue.
No, we belong to.
They depict him with a sika, like this. It's like some funny guy looking,
We belong to Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnava Sampradaya, like Narad Muni's like parampara.
Yeah.
So you should not copy, but you can follow this steps like Narad Muni, Mahajana Yanagata Sapanta.
Yeah.
But Narad Muni is all on a transcendental platform. He wants Krishna's pastimes to be revealed like that.
Yeah.
So he goes both Kamsa as well as here and there.
Yeah.
And another thing is that I was thinking of forwarding.
Okay. I'm going to stop now. It's already 8:40. So thank you so much. Parantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Narada Muni ki jai. Sri Krishna's Lila ki jai. Krishna book. The Prabhupada.